Hello and welcome to Nyanyosh Chronicles. My name is Nyanyo Kwame Azanu Jr. I'd like to encourage all of you to subscribe to the channel on the subscribe button beneath the video. Click it, subscribe, and have first hand access to all the videos that we post on this platform. Today, I'm touching on a topic I have titled Let's Break Up. Let's break up. Let's break up. Most often, the issue of breakup is considered very, very sensitive. A lot of people don't like to talk about uh, breakup issues. Why? Because they think it's a no go area or some sort. But once again, Nyanyosh Chronicles is in to highlight the truths and expose the lies. So we thought it wise to make mention of this rather sensitive issue because its resultant effect is quite dire sometimes. So we thought it wise to highlight a few things when it comes to the issue of breakup. Now, um, I believe that the issue of breakup is considered sensitive because most often in relationships, we find ourselves engaging in things that uh, it's not expected of us or it's not biblical. And therefore, when the issue of breakup comes up, it becomes very difficult for us to make a decision as to whether to keep a relationship going or to call it quits. That is one of the major reasons that makes the whole breakup thing very sensitive and very scary for others to talk about. But here we would highlight a few pointers that makes it absolutely okay, if I will put it, to actually look a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the eye and tell the person, I think let's call it breakup. Let's call it quit. Let's let it end here. If for nothing at all, maybe later on, if there's a reason for us to get back together, why not? Now, uh, there's a saying that it is better to be single and alone than to be married to the wrong person. And I believe we all enter relationships because we want to find the right person to get married to. And thinking about this statement, I felt, yes, then there is a need to put this out. There's a need to put this out. Now, there are things that as a Christian you can't compromise on. There are specific things that being a woman you can't compromise on when you're dating someone or you're in a relationship and you are looking forward to take it to the level of marriage. And based on my small reading out, I'll just mention a few. For instance, for the woman, are things that you can't compromise on as a result of relationship and the fear that, oh, I won't get someone, so you let me be in there, and then you are killing yourself. You have a man beating you on a daily basis. My sister, that is a very good reason to call for a breakup. Remember, you are not married to the person, so there's no better for worse in this particular issue. And this is how come these are the only ways that we can correct some of the things that we may find ourselves in when it comes to marriage, where we cannot draw back, where we cannot draw back. So first, for the woman, I'd like to talk about your man and the people that your boyfriend is hanging around. These are things that you cannot compromise on. The kind of friends that your boyfriend keeps is something that you should be questioning, something that you should be thinking about. And it could be a reason for you to call for a breakup. It's a genuine reason for you to call for a breakup. Now, um, Proverbs 13:20, according to the New International Version, the NIV, it says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. And don't forget, you're going up with someone who is hanging out with fools. The tendency of the person becoming a fool is very likely. And once the person becomes a fool, it will rub on you. It will rub on you. You will feel the effect. So that's a good reason for which you can actually call for a breakup, for a breakup, in order for you not to mess your future up, because such friends may not be giving your boyfriend any good counsel. Another thing is, how does he make his money? How does the man make his money? How does he get his income, or how does he make the money that possibly he's spending on himself and he's spending on you? You should question such things. Proverbs 15:27, according to the English Standard Version, says, "Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live." Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household. So your household is at the verge of being troubled if your boyfriend is making ill gotten wealth. And that is a good reason for you to call it quit. That's a good reason for you to call it over, because you have the tendency of entering a household that will be troubled. You have the tendency of entering a household that will be troubled. Then again, how does he treat animals? How does That's quite funny, but it counts. How does he treat animal? Proverbs 10 verse 12 in the NLT says, "The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel." So how your man treats animal could also tell you certain things about such a man. And for that reason, you could, don't forget, I keep saying you could call for an end of the relationship if you see there's no headway in some of these things that I'm making mention of. Another point is temper. Proverbs 14:29, and once again the NIV says, "Whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly." Now, if you are dating a man that is quick-tempered, my sister, that is something you should be watching. That is something you should be critically examining. And if you find it uncomfortable, please call for a breakup. Call for a breakup. Now, to the men, the things that you look out for in a woman, that if some of these things are absent, or if all these things are absent, you have every right to call for a breakup. Is one, the fear of God. Proverbs 31:30 in the NIV says, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." So the fear of the Lord in a woman is very important. Now, it's often said that men are the head of the family, and sometimes we say the women are the neck. If the neck that is carrying you, don't forget, some of these things work both ways. But then moving on, if the men if the neck that is carrying you doesn't fear God, doesn't give reverence to God, then please, you have something to really be worried about, and therefore you have every right to call for a breakup. Now, women quarrelsome women is another. If your girlfriend is quarrelsome, every time making quarrels here and there, that is something that you should consider calling a breakup for. Now, Proverbs 21:9 says, "Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife." It is better to live on a corner of the roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. I think that one speaks for itself. I wouldn't even throw any more light on it. So that's another reason for which you can call for a breakup. Proverbs 19:13 furthers the issue on quarrelsomeness. It says, "A foolish child is a father's ruin, and a quarrelsome wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof." A quarrelsome wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof. And now you can just imagine, if your roof is leaking each and every day, then and the wala or wala, as uh, we Ghanaians will put it. And then finally, a foolish woman. Proverbs 14:1 says, "The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down." If you are hanging out with a foolish woman that you are thinking of getting married to, Proverbs 14:1 is speaking to you. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands, the foolish one tears hers down. My brother, my sister, these are some of the things that you can consider and then call for a breakup. Thank you for listening. And once again, subscribe to the channel beneath the video. And this is Nyanyu's Chronicles. We are on YouTube at Nyanyu's Chronicles on YouTube. So you just go to YouTube, type Nyanyu's Chronicles, and then we'll pop up. Thank you for watching and have a good day.